Welcome to 6th grade health. This is the final lesson for health. This is lesson 169. The test is tomorrow, so we're reviewing chapters 5 through 7, the end, and we did do a lot of review on chapter 7 before, so I may not ask all the questions for that, but I'll go through these and you can see what you can remember and make sure to mark stuff that you're like, I didn't really know that, so so you can study those specifically. And so we are coming to the very end, so just keep plugging away, keep working hard. And so first of all, let me make sure I have my pages. All right, first of all, chapter 5. All right, what is the body's ability to resist or protect itself against a particular disease? That's immunity. Immunity. Very small creatures that may cause disease are known as microorganisms. Microorganisms. Bacteria and viruses that cause diseases, germs. What are those? Pathogens, good job. The skin's outer layer made of tough flattened cells which provide a strong defense against infection and disease. Your epidermis, good. A thick fluid produced by the mucous membrane. It traps microorganisms. Mucus, that one's pretty simple. Hair-like projections that line the mucous membrane. Cilia, a protein that speeds up certain chemical reactions is known as enzyme, an enzyme. A liquid surrounding all the cells in your body helps keep the cells clean and balanced with liquid. It's tissue fluid, right? Good job. Small, thin-walled tubes that carry lymph are known as lymph capillaries. Very good. All right. Special proteins produced by certain white blood cells that help fight against pathogens are antibodies. Great. Immunizations are known as vaccines. The widespread occurrence of a particular disease, it's usually called an epidemic. We have a pandemic right now, but usually it's an epidemic. An inflammation of the sebaceous glands that lie just below the surface of the skin. Your sebaceous glands are are the sweat glands, so it's acne because they get oily. Too much oil, and it's the inflammation causes acne. Glands located in the dermis, the middle layer of skin that produce sebum or oil, and they're oil glands. Sebaceous glands, I just kind of gave that answer away. Who's a doctor who specializes in skincare? Dermatologist, good job. All right. Make sure that you study the diagram on page 87 of the lymphatic system. And so I'm going to give you some definitions of lymphatic parts. You tell me what they are. Enlarged bunches of lymphatic tissue located along the lymph vessels where lymph is cleansed of debris and microbes. Lymph nodes, okay? An accumulation of lymph nodes in the back of the throat that fight infection. That's your tonsils. An accumulation of lymph nodes in the back of the throat that fight infection. Another one are the adenoids. Okay, so tonsils and adenoids do both of that, are located in the same spot. A group of lymph nodes in the wall of the small intestine that continuously clean the digestive system. So which ones are in the small intestine? Peyer's patches. Peyer's patches. What is the largest lymphatic organ? Your spleen, good. And a lymphatic organ that produces disease-fighting lymphocytes is your thymus. Good job. The largest organ in your body is your skin. Special kind of skin cells which line your mouth, nose, and throat. The mucous membrane. Strong acid in your stomach that destroys most of the harmful bacteria which enters your body with the food that you eat. That's hydrochloric acid. An enzyme found in tears and sweat that kills bacteria by dissolving the cell walls. That's lysozyme. Lysozyme. It's an enzyme, so lysozyme helps kill that bacteria. What are the transportation tubes for lymph? Similar to blood vessels. Lymph vessels, good. In large bunches of lymphatic tissue located at various points along the lymph vessels in which the lymph is cleansed of debris and microbes. Those are the lymph nodes, okay, the lymph nodes. Large numbers of white blood cells found within each lymph node are lymphocytes. Lymphocytes. An accumulation of lymph nodes. Oh, we did that one again. Oh, we're doing a couple of those we did again. Let's see. So I'll ask it, we'll move on to another one. Which lymphatic organ cleanses the blood that passes through it? That's the spleen. Okay, so this is a repeat of some of these. Which one is located behind the breastbone and between the lung and shrinks after a certain, when you're an adult? The thymus. Okay, good. All right. What is the main purpose of the immune system? To build up resistance to diseases. What are the two most common types of microbes? Viruses and bacteria. Good. Which body system contains skin, hair, nails, sebaceous glands, and sweat glands? What is the whole system known as? Integumentary system. Good job. All right. Okay, so make sure that you know the diagram on page 97 and 98 with the nervous system, central nervous system, okay? What is the upper part of the brain controls thought, memory, and learned behavior? That's your cerebrum, all right? What about the lower part of the brain controls balance, coordinates skeletal muscle activity? That's your cerebellum, okay? So cerebrum is your thinking part. It's the upper part. The cerebrum's at the bottom. A long bundle of nerve fibers that extend from the brainstem and is protected by the spinal column is known as your spinal cord. Good. Nerve cells, bundles of fibers that carry messages from one part of the body to another. Your nerves, okay? Which nerves branch off the spinal cord? Your spinal nerves, okay? Some of those are very simple because they mean exactly what the name of them are. What's the part of the brain connected to the spinal cord, controls involuntary muscles and activities of the body? That's your brain stem, okay? All right. This is different parts of your body. What consists of your brain and spinal cord and acts as your body's computer, controlling the functions of each of the body's systems? Your central nervous system. What is made up of the nerves that control the involuntary actions of your body and all the other nerves that branch out into your body, serves as the messenger system, carries information from the brain to each part of your body? That's the peripheral nervous system, okay? So the central one is like your body's computer. The peripheral just sends messages back to the brain and so on. Okay, a soft, spongy organ that weighs between 2 and 3 pounds makes it possible to move, think, and learn. Your brain, good. The half of your cerebrum that communicates with the left side of your body is known as the right hemisphere. And what about the half of your cerebrum that communicates with the right side of your body? Your left hemisphere. What are unconscious actions such as jerking your hand away when you touch something hot? Reflex actions, good. 12 pairs of nerves which branch directly from your brainstem are known as cranial nerves. All right. Fibers that inform your body of the things in its environment, things you feel, see, hear, smell, and taste. Sensory nerve fibers, good. Fibers that carry messages from the brain and spinal cord to the muscles are motor nerve fibers, good. Nerve endings that send messages to your brain whenever your skin comes into contact with something outside your body. Those are your sensory receptors. Sends messages from your nose to your brain identifies the odor. Those are the olfactory receptors in your nose, okay? What are the sensory receptors on the surface of your tongue? Your taste buds, good. Light-sensitive cells that detect shape and movement in the dim light distinguish different shades of black, gray, and white. It's part of your eye, so it's the rods, okay? And then light-sensitive cells that distinguish color and sharp detail when there is sufficient light. Those are the cones, okay? The cones do color and sharp detail. The rods are detect movement and shape and do black and gray and white, okay? What is the hollow spaces in your skull bones protect the eyes? Your eye sockets. What helps keep perspiration from running down into your eyes? Your eyebrows. What screens out tiny bits of dust? Your eyelashes. What do you close to shut out too great an amount of light, prevent objects from getting into your eyes? Your eyelids. And then what moistens the underside of your eyelids and keeps the surface of your eyeball clean and moist, destroy bacteria, and help prevent eye infection? Your tears, good. What is a medical doctor who specializes in eye disorders or diseases? Ophthalmologist, and then a person specifically trained to examine eyes and to prescribe corrective lenses for defective vision is the optometrist, okay? So you go to an optometrist to get glasses or contacts, but you would go to an ophthalmologist if you developed an eye disease, okay? All right. What is the outer ear? The part of the ear that can be seen, right? And it catches the waves of sound. What is the auditory canal? It's a small tube that carries sound waves from the outer ear to the eardrum. What's the eardrum? The thin membrane of skin that separates the outer ear from the middle ear. What is the eustachian tube? It's the tube that connects the middle ear to the back of the pharynx. What is the middle ear? The part of the ear that includes the hammer, the anvil, and the stirrup. It amplifies and transmits sound to the inner ear. What is the hammer? The tiny middle ear bone that touches the eardrum. What is the anvil? The tiny middle eardrum between the hammer and the stirrup. And what is the stirrup? It's a tiny middle ear bone that strengthens the vibrations from the anvil as it knocks on the oval window of the inner ear. And what's the inner ear? The part of the ear that is completely filled with liquid converts vibrations to nerve impulses. What's the cochlea? It's the fluid-filled part of the inner ear that is shaped like a small snail, contains the auditory nerve endings, and the auditory nerve is the special nerve of hearing that is first stimulated by vibrations of the liquid in the cochlea and then carries messages to the brain. Okay, a few more of these. What are the semicircular canals? The liquid-filled structures in the inner ear that help maintain balance in the body. What is the sclera? Now we're into the eye. The tough outer layer that covers all of the eyeball except the iris and the pupil. What is the cornea? It's the transparent covering over the iris and pupil through which light enters the eye. Conjunctiva is a thin membrane that lines the eyelids and covers the front part of the eyeball. The colored part of the eye causes the pupil to become larger or smaller according to the amount of light entering the eye. What is that? That's your iris. That's the colored part of the eye. What about the dark opening in the center of the iris through which light passes? The pupil, the part of the eye that causes light rays which pass through it to bend and focus on the retina. your lens, okay? So the lens on the inside, not your eyelid. Some people think of this as your eye lens, but that's your eyelid. And so the lens is on farther into your eye. The inner layer of the eye where images are formed is known as the retina. And a large bundle of nerve fibers at the back of the eyeball carries messages from the rods and cones to the sight center of the brain. The optic nerve, good job. How can you protect your sense of hearing? Lots of things that you could do. Never clean your ears with anything sharp. Blow air gently out of your nose when you swim underwater. Don't blow your nose too hard. Avoid continual loud noises. If you are going to hear a loud noise, open your mouth and cover your ears. See a doctor if you have an earache. All right, and how do you protect your sense of sight? Wear sunglasses with ultraviolet filters. Work in a well-lighted area. Have regular eye examinations. Carry sharp pointed objects with their points down. And never rub your eyes. All right. So that is chapter 6. We went over all of chapter 7 in the review on Tuesday. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this here. And if you need to have some extra review on chapter 7, go back to Wednesday's video, okay? Or Tuesday's video. I'm sorry, Tuesday's video. Okay, this test, your test is tomorrow. So make sure that you study chapters 1 to 7 well and that you do your best. And we will see you in Friday's lessons. There's only two for each class. Two lessons for each class on Friday. So have a good evening.